So we are at the second meeting about Italian Design Days. As you know, living this very strange and weird situation, we are starting with a set of meetings and encounters between fantastic and very important, interesting Italian and Turkish architect, designer, and creators. And the point for us is to discuss about the characters of Italian design and the potential relationship with Turkish culture, and how creativity can be used to face such a difficult situation today. So it's something that starts from our different cultures, but in the meantime, it's giving a hope to show how architecture and good design can improve the quality of our daily life. So I will start with a very simple, basic question to each of you. And I will start with Simona. Ladies first, always. And Anne is very sensitive on that. We know that. And so I'm asking Simona, since you are an Italian designer, you are very much devoted to interior design, exhibition setting, and you work on something which is considered so much Italian, no? So can you give us your idea about what is Italian, what is good Italian in design today? What represents the Italianità, let's say, of design, and how can you explain the quality of design, Italian design in this moment? Why it's still so good and important for all of us?
I think that every time Italian architects, Italian creative, while participating in the international debate, they have always in some way followed with an autonomous way. And this way many times concern the design. I think about the very past, the far past, when architects were architects and designers. There was not a distinction between these words. And I think about architects like Cacciadominioni, like Gio Ponti, BBPR. They were architects that had the opportunity to create without the conditioning of these
distinctions. No distinction. Yeah.
Also, when they approached the radical architecture, they added the counter design. In that case, come posso dire? The two words.
The two words were the same body. Let's say it's like design and architecture were playing the same environment. No? So
yes,
there no distinction.
But from radical architecture, they began to put a distance between the two words, and sorry.
No, don't worry. It's very clear, because you are explaining us that since the 50s and 60s, in Italian design and Italian architects was in a way sometimes the same person. He was considering the space as a unity, so without distinction. And then in the 70s we enter in a phase of specialization, which creates separation of the two different.
A real separation career. And so I think that this has led to an impoverishment. I think that now there is a almost total absence of dialogue between these two words. And I think that is really important to remember that designers and architects come both from the same origin. I dream come back to the past. a fusion of these words,
clear.
because
That's
I imagine a very interesting surprise, especially by designers.
I completely agree with you, but in your case, for example, you as an architect and designer, you play on both sides, because when you design interiors, you think as an architect of the space, but in the same time, you design furnitures, you design lamps, you design equipment, you choose the colors. So you are the representation of what you are saying now. So your work is not separating, your work is merging the two things together.
I like to say that I am an architect. I'm not a specialist. In a world of a specialist, I am not a specialist. My job depends on the opportunity I have. But I really like set up interiors, exhibition, and I love these kind of works because I like the narrative dimension of my job. I like very much this aspect. In fact, I think that my works are not very quiet, are not very calm. When I work on an interior or an exhibition design, I love to think I have a script, a given script, and I have to translate in architecture what someone has right for me. And I think that my job is not silent.
No. Has a very strong personality.
And I think also that I love to steal from the great lesson of the past, metaphorically speaking, obvious.
No, sure.
But I try to steal everything is close to my feeling, to my direction, but also close to the needs of the moment, because I think that is a great opportunity to looking for the answers we need in the past. I think that in this moment, I think that we can found many answers of the need of this moment in new domestic landscape. I think that the architects who participate to that exhibition, they designed and built 50 years earlier, in advance of 50 years, many things that now are very, very
contemporary, actual.
Contemporary, actually,
No, I agree with you. Just to give an insight about what you said, just to give information also to our public, which they're not supposed to know, New Italian Landscape. New Italian Landscape was a very famous exhibition which was held at MoMA in New York in 1973, which was the chief curator was Emilio Ambaz, who invited more than 15 architects and designers from the new generation that time to design not only an exhibition, but each of them designed a single environment. And the environment was a set of objects and space. And also they also designed not only the environments, but also a film. So it was also the first time that audio-video materials was embedded inside the setting of the exhibition. That exhibition was an amazing success for MoMA. And they represent also one of the most important permanent collection of Italian design at the museum up to now. So in that moment, people like Super Studio, Gaetano Pesce, Gio Colombo, amazing people have been involved in design incredible. So I suggest to all of you to come back on Google to Google new Italian domestic landscape to look for the materials of that amazing exhibition. Also, I advise to look at, I'm sorry I did not introduce you, Simona, but Simona Ottieri is part of is a couple, is called Gambardella Architetti, which also advise you to see and visit the beautiful new website. And Simona, mostly she's very much inside the design of the interiors and the design of the exhibition setting, which is for me one of the most radical and super pop things you can see in this moment in Italy. I love their work. I know you know it, and they are so powerful and so radical that I think it's very interesting to have a look to their material as a representation of the contemporary best Italian design. Han, can you hear me? I don't see you.
Perfect.
Because you disappeared.
I think there's a momentary phone call ongoing, but in a couple of seconds you will see me.
Okay.
Voila.
Okay, because you are. We cannot.
Can you see me now?
You are such a beautiful Turkish man. We cannot lose you. I mean, come on.
Come on.
So, just also to introduce you, I mean, the Turkish people does not need an introduction about Han Tümertekin, but also the European one. But being the interviewer, I have to do it. Han Tümertekin for me is actually the most important Turkish architect. He's the first Turkish architect ever invited in the Venice Biennale. So next year we will have the chance to see your exhibition, your setting inside the Arsenale. So congratulations for that. And
thank you.
And his work is spread around Turkey, Europe, some pieces in Mongolia, once the Turkish embassy, and one in Japan. He's nearly finished a fantastic piece of architecture, which is the new Turkish embassy in Strasbourg, which is nearly opened, which is a major work of your production. So you are one of the masters of contemporary Turkish architecture, and I'm very honored to have you here with this dialogue. And you know very well Italy. So I would like to know from you, what is for you Italianity in design? What represents for you looking to Italy in this moment, and what Italy brought to your work as it did?
Let me start with a personal history, which is when I was a student, one of my professors, Nezih Eldem, who passed away already 10 years ago, he was a big fan of Gio Ponti and Luigi Nervi. And then right from the beginning of my architectural education, I had the opportunity and privilege to know about Italian architecture and design. Professor Eldem used to spend some time in Italy, in Milano, and he was a great fan of too many Italian architects and designers of 50s and 60s, when he was spending some time in Italy. And I had the opportunity and privilege to know Carlo Scarpa as well. I remember very well when I was at my second year.
You mean you met him?
No, not personally. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
But the work of Scarpa, let's say.
Oh, the work of Carlo. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yes. And while I was listening to Simona, I was having all those memories in my mind, and I was saying that this is for the first time that I could see clearly that the first let's say serious architects and designers I knew were all Italians. and I could immediately see that interaction between object, space, material, detailing on their work. For Nervi, that was, of course, first the structure, but always having in mind the special qualities of the volumes. Scarpa was much more material, how to put one material next to another one.
Yeah.
Detailing, of course, the volumes, the light, and now I can tell you. Then I'm so happy that I accepted to be questioned by you today. That's
because we are good friends. Because we are good friends.
Sure, this is another issue, but now I discovered that the Italian influence was very, very strong at my at my first years in architectural education.
Your education. Yeah. Well, it's true that.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, sorry.
But via publications like Domus, then Abitare, Casabella is Swiss, but anyway, not.
Casabella is Italian. Casabella is Italian.
Casabella is Italian, but not published in.
No.
Casabella is Italian. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Don't give Casabella to Swiss, please.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, but mainly Swiss architects were published in.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Casabella.
True.
Yeah.
Max Bill, Joseph Roth, all the guys.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then we had those days. We had all those magazines, architectural magazines, in the library of our school. And for my generation of architects in Turkey, the Italian design, or let's say, well, yes, Italian design influence is very strong. And as Simona precisely mentioned, there was no distinction between design and architecture. That's the way I have to say I perceived Italy.
I completely agree with you, because Italy is always the same. It's like from the spoon to the city. No, there's a unity of vision from the small detail to the imagination of the city, which is probably, as Simona said, and you also confirmed, one of the strongest character of Italian way of thinking, which is today very important, because living in a very flexible world, the capability of seeing everything as a unity is very important. No? I think it's a way to give a very interesting approach to reality, which is not secting them, but is also seen as a whole.
And I would like to add another thing. Again, while listening to Simona, I was asking myself how professionally I moved to one part to another, and very, very recently I wish to go back to those days in which the space was a unity. Let me a bit explain myself, then I started at my professional career, doing the same thing. I remember very well, I was same thing as Simona is doing. I was doing mainly, like many young architects, interiors, and without, let's say, unconsciously, I was designing a couple of furniture or a couple of elements in the spaces that I was designing. But
Yeah.
by the time, as far as I've got architectural commissions and I started designing buildings, I started leaving the interiors to interior designers. It was not always the case, but I started putting a distance between small-scale interventions and large-scale interventions. And now, for the past couple of years, I again started to get closer and closer for every part of the building, which is the case for my Strasbourg project.
Embassy, yeah, yeah.
Then at that complex, I intervened on every faces of the building, the interior, the surfaces, even the doorknobs I designed.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I would like to make a game between Simona and Han. Since Simona, I remember when the first time you have been to Istanbul, you have been so much impressed by. Somehow, you know, Simona knows very well, I am a full professor in the Faculty of Nepal, and I've been working in Istanbul for so many years. So for me, it was very interesting to see the two cities together. And I feel that they are so close one to each other. No? There is story, there is a very strong relationship with the sea and the landscape, there is the deep quality of life, which is everywhere. So there are two kind of universal cities. No? So I would like, Simona, giving your comment as Italian to your experience of Istanbul, and then I will ask Hannah to give your experience about one beloved Italian city. So we make a kind of exchange about through the cities, about your experience as an architect, as a person, about Italian and Turkey. So Simona, can you tell us about your Istanbul, or what you loved more? Which were your impressions?
I loved Istanbul very much. I was there 5 years ago, and now I am very sad because I am not there.
Well, we'll go together soon. We'll go together soon. I'm sure. I'm sure.
But the first place I remember of Istanbul in my mind is Cisterna, Abbazia Cisterna. That I remember like a very suggestive place. I remember a deep forest of columns. And the reflection of them in the water. I think it was a very magical and unreal atmosphere. And that place remembered me the ancient Roman spaces that I love very much, that is very close to Naples, in the Flegrea, area Flegrea, come Flegrea area, close to Naples. And I think there were many links from the two cities, also in the way of life. And I remember also the Galata Bridge and the street food under the bridge. I think that we are Mediterranean people, and in every place close to the sea in the Mediterranean area, we have many things
connected, close.
Connected.
Okay, super, super, super. Han, which is your the most beloved Italian cities? I mean, frankly, I mean, in your life, which are cities and have you been loving so much, and why? Which are the reasons?
You know, Luca, you know very well, we are good friends. I can tell you, I like Italy, all over Italy. And I feel really very, very familiar when I'm in Italy.
Yeah.
So that it's really, for me, very difficult to choose one city.
Yeah.
But I can tell you the dramatic moment that I immediately loved Italy was the very first day, late in the afternoon, during my first visit to Rome. Well, let's say first visit to Italy in 2000. Sorry, it was in 1982.
Okay.
On my way back to Istanbul from Marseille and Paris.
Okay.
I remember very well that after leaving my stuff at the hotel, I immediately visited Termini, the Nervi, because during the school, Termini was something that I must visit, see, and learn. And then later, in the afternoon, I'm not sure, was it in 5 p.m.? I think it was 5 or 6 p.m. I was crossing Piazza della Repubblica, and I have seen that the vehicle circulation was blocked. There were trucks with trees. People were moving and placing huge pots with trees just for the afternoon. And the place was becoming a pedestrian square.
Okay.
And then I said, it's incredible. Every day they are doing this for just allowing people to gather at that piazza. And I said, it's so impressive, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And this is, I would like to say, I can't choose any specific city in Italy, but the way of Italians living. That's why no matter the city or the scale of the settlement, the way of living is, to me, very impressive.
Yeah. Okay. Simona, we are talking about Mediterranean Sea, and recently you designed an amazing exhibition at the Archaeological Museum in Naples about archaeology and Mediterranean Sea. I hope you will soon give a lecture about your work in Istanbul, so you will show the images, but I advise everybody to see the images on the website of your office. The exhibition, Han, you would have loved it because it was an amazing. Simona did an amazing job because she designed the main room of the solar watch in the archaeological museum, which is a Farnese building, by the way. They're lucky. They can work in amazing places. And this huge hall, she designed a set of rooms using very poor and powerful material, all painted in silver. And you had a set of amazing archaeological pieces from Greek museum, Roman museum. And at the center, there was this Atlante, this atlas, was a kind of which was surrounded by a set of walls with all mirroring the top of the atlas, which was showing a beautiful constellation in a Roman age. So it was an incredible exhibition. Simona, can you tell us more about this work? Because I think it was very relevant for you. You spent a lot of time, and it was so important for your experience.
Yeah. What can I say? That there were many finds from the Mediterranean, like as you say before, and I didn't want to expose like a sequence of objects, so I try to organize it in section, and this section was drawing like Constellation Island.
Yeah.
The globe, which Atlante take on his
head, bearing on the head,
decorated with a constellation, and I built this island in silver, as you say, with these pieces that were very different from shape, from dimension. We had very big, I don't know how can I say it in English, le ancore.
Was anchoring, was the huge materials from metal that we used to fix the boat in the port.
Okay.
So it's anchor. It's anchoring. It was anchoring. Yes,
anchors, and also very small objects. So I put them on a different level, and I work on the narration, because I think that the exhibition design have not to be silent, have not to be neutral. I think that you can improve the narration, the story of the exhibition with a good exhibition design, and I try to do it every time.
It's fantastic.
I love also the thing that every work you do in a different situation can improve yourself. I learned very much from archaeologists, and I was very fun to work with them, because it's a very difficult work, and we have to work together side by side, because it was very difficult to imagine the object that che sarebbero arrivati, that
which has been arrived from the past.
And so we work together, and I think that it has been a very good experience for me and for them also. So I am very happy. And
I completely agree with you, because sorry, I didn't stop you. Sorry, I didn't want to stop you.
No,
Simona, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that I know that now the exhibition is in another place, in Palermo, but with another exhibition design. And I saw some photos, and I I see that now is a different story, is a different exhibition.
Yeah.
So I indicate the importance of the design in the exhibition.
I totally agree with you, because it's an interpretation of a narration. You design the narration, you design the emotion of the visitor, no? So you prepare them to leave something. You know, there is always very boring a traditional archaeological museum, because you have a set of tones of bases, materials, and so and so. And if you are not a specialist, after the fifth room, you get bored, because it looks more or less always the same. So the design of exhibition setting in this case is crucial, because it makes the difference between a exhibition and a real narration. So I totally agree with you, and I remember very well the experience I have in your exhibition, which was amazingly powerful.
Also, the Atlante with the reflecting surface, it was photographed by many people. Also for selfie, was a very good.
Was social, was so social.
Yeah, and I think that it was very emotional experience, the exhibition.
I totally agree with you, and I mean, it's a pity that our friends cannot have seen it. Han, Simona was talking before about narration, but most also about history. History is so much important in your work, not because you are a nostalgic person, but because, as Simona says, you are using history a lot. You have a very deep and very mature and conscious relationship with the use of history. You are not a postmodernist, you are a modernist using history in a very free way. So can you tell us more about your personal relationship with history in the design process?
You know, I think I use history to create a continuation in my work. History is not the past for me. History is existing. History is a data like the others. Like, to me, history is like topography, is like sunlight, the wind. Then this is not, when I look back, that I see history. To me, history is the, you know, it is the existing. Just that. That's why I'm not a postmodernist, you know. And I'm so lucky that I was born in Istanbul, and I mainly, my practice is mainly based in Istanbul. Of course, I'm working abroad, but as you Italians, for us, Istanbul youth, history is something that we have in our daily life. I remember very well when I was a little boy, I was playing tennis next to a palace, next to Dolmabahce Palace, and
Dolmabahce,
and when I was a ball missing in the garden of the palace, and we've been going to the garden, and then for us it was not a palace, it was one of the buildings next to the tennis court, you know. That's why maybe history does not meaning something or what it means to an American. And I feel comfortable with history. This is not a big issue. I'm so lucky that I have too many historical places in my daily life, and unconsciously, I am sure, there is a layering of historical details, materials, atmospheres in my mind. And when I start a completely new building from the scratch, I have always, at least in my mind, somewhere, the thickness of the wall of Saint Sophia, or when I entered, the memories of stepping in to a mosque in a very, very hot, sunny summer day, and how I'm freezing inside that volume, or the sounds of a very high ceiling, the sounds produced under a very high ceiling. Then I will repeat, these are not special things to me. These are the things that I have in my daily life, so that I can make use of them as a data, as an input to my design. This is the way I'm looking to history and historical buildings.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's it's so close to the way. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same way we as Italians live the same thing. I think Simona has the same experience in entering the Baroque and Renaissance churches on the old palaces in Naples. I mean, it's we are from this point of view, Naples and Istanbul are the same kind of daily monumentality, which makes history being a daily food. And I was thinking, listening to you and to Simona, that one of the next dialogue we'll do will be only about Italian and Turkish food, because Simona, she's an amazing chef. She's cooking so well. And you are an amazing good eater. And I think the best way would be to spend together time on a dinner age. So I advise our friend of Italian Design Days to organize the next conference together on a table, eating and talking to the people. It would be the best way to describe our Mediterraneity. I have to ask two questions. One is about Yıldız Technopark. I know that is one of the most important places of experimentation this moment in Istanbul, bringing together companies and universities. So how Yıldız Technopark is facing this strange COVID situation? And this is my first question.
Thank you, Luca. Okay, first one is Technopark continues to emphasize remote working while allowing for the resumption of certain in-person activities, including the return of a limited population of people to campus, and supporting the well-being of community members while advancing Technopark's academic enterprise requires each of us to take steps to protect ourselves and others, whether by continuing to work remotely or by following important health and safety protocols on campus in standard. Of course, we follow the health authorities in Turkey and follow the mask, distance, hygiene rules. Everyone is standard.
And the second question is about how Yıldız Technopark and the fantastic companies inside are producing new technologies and new tools to face the pandemic. I'm sure that the good technologies can be one of the best ways to solve the situation. And I'm sure that a lot of startup and companies are working in Yıldız Technopark on this direction. So can you tell us more about this?
Actually, our incubators, which include techno entrepreneurs and academic entrepreneurs operating under Yıldız incubation, have carried out R&D projects within our organization together with the pandemic. In addition to these, they also carried out new projects with Yıldız TTO consultancy within the scope of combining the pandemic. Yıldız TTO is Yıldız Technopark, same mean. For example, post-incubation company is IWOS. Visitor counting and analyze project has been initiated with artificial intelligence-based image processing technologies. With the project, you can record your guests who visit indoor areas with artificial intelligence-based image processing technologies with a face recognition system in addition to thermal camera measurements and record the body temperature, change on their next arrival and take precautions according to these changes. And also another company, biotechnology firm, is Academic Incubation, has developed an alcohol-free, hand-friendly, effective hand disinfectant against COVID-19 in the test conducting with the projects and the COVID-19 virus. It prevents the virus from causing an infection by inactivating it. Another example is another company is Ferge, incubation established with Technopark. It has developed a sterilizable, long-lasting, rapidly predictable silicone face shield. This project received grant support within the scope of the National Research Center is TÜBİTAK, Turkey Research Center, COVID-19 call. With the project, a more effective and cheaper face shield was produced for healthcare professionals. In addition, another entrepreneur, Hugger Foods company, a female entrepreneur incubation center in Yıldız Technopark, antiviral and edible food coating material, BioCoblock. BioCoblock is a biological corona barrier, has been developed to combat COVID-19 with the project food safety in fresh fruit and vegetable products will be ensured with antiviral coating. Working under the coordination of the Ministry of Industry and Technology, Turkey, and Istanbul Development Agency, and under the direction of Yıldız Technology Development Zone, within the scope of the COVID-19 Fight and Resilience Program. And health science became partners in the project and became the innovative health technologies development platform, bringing universities, private sector, and public together in the vertical of health technologies. With the innovative health technologies development platform project, one of the healthcare platforms with the largest participation in our country was made. And academicians, individuals, and entrepreneurs with innovative ideas, investment companies of various scales, universities, technoparks, incubation centers, and non-profit. Another company is NGOs such as TÜSEP, MÜSYAT, and important organizations, another company in Technopark, Eczacıbaşı and Bayer, and investors became the stakeholders of the project and the platform. And result of actually finally health innovation activities will be carried out in coordination of the parties. High level of awareness and cooperation and repetitive activities will be combined and accelerated. The funding and commercialization process of qualified initiatives will be shortened. Again, within this scope of this project, COVID-19 hackathon was organized to rapidly plan innovative ideas across the country. And finally, yeah, this one is. Thank you so much.
So I thank you so much, Simona and Han, for that. I'm so happy I will be with two of my closest friends and to my two beloved city, and so I feel very happy in this moment. And thank you so much for your time. And I really hope that this coming situation will allow us to come soon to Istanbul to give a conference about the work of Simona, which is amazing. So I advise again to see the Gambardella Architetti website and to follow the work of Han Tümertekin on Instagram as Gambardella Architetti as well, and on your website, and to see each other very much soon. So kisses to all of you, and see you soon in both cases. Okay?
Grazie Luca.
Bye bye.
Ciao.
Bye bye. Thank you so much. Ciao.
Ciao,
Bye
Simona.
bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.